The actuation systems. These are the elements of a control system unit for transforming the output of a microprocessor into a controlling action. So usually in a mechatronic system, the microprocessor receives the input from a sensor, processes it, and gives out a response that would be mostly an electrical signal. In many cases, this electrical signal has to be converted into an actual work or actual action in the mechanical sense to carry out the final process. Actuation systems are used for this purpose. For example, the electrical output from a microprocessor could be transformed into a linear motion to move a load, which will be the final output. Similarly, the electrical output can be transformed to regulate the flow of liquid passing through a pipe. Now, in this module, we will be focusing on the fluid power systems, which means that it uses either gas or liquid to carry out this action. They are mainly classified into pneumatic and hydraulic actuation systems. The pneumatic and hydraulic systems. The pneumatic system employs gas, mostly air, whereas the hydraulic system employs a highly viscous liquid such as oil. So in pneumatic system, the compressed air is used for the control element, and most often they are used to control the final control elements of the mechatronic system. Now the electrical signal from the microprocessor can be used to actuate large valves and other high power control devices to move the significant mechanical loads. One of the main drawbacks is the use of compressed air in the pneumatic system. Because of this, the control and speed of the pneumatic system is difficult as compared to the other systems. Now the second one is the hydraulic systems. Now it employs a highly viscous liquid such as oil as the control element. Now it is used for the high power control devices, and since it utilizes a complicated system control element, now it is expensive than the pneumatic systems. Now hazards are often associated with the hydraulic system, such as the oil leaks, which is not hazardous in case of an air leaks in a pneumatic system. A hydraulic system utilizes a viscous fluid such as an oil for the intended function. Now the pressurized oil is provided by a pump which is driven by an electric motor and is circulated within the system. The figure represents a schematic system of the schematic diagram of the a general hydraulic system. Now the circulation of the oil can be tracked as it is pumped to the non-return valve by the motor from the sump. That is, the oil starts from the sump to the pump, then to the non-return valve. From the non-return valve, it reaches the pressure relief valve to the accumulator, performs the intended function, and returns back to the sump. So let's see what are the components in this system. The pressure relief valve is present to release the pressure of the oil or the liquid if it rises above a safe level. Here the safe level means the maximum pressure which the material of the pipe housing can withstand. Now the non-return valve is present, which will be a one-way valve. That is, the fluid once passing the valve cannot return back to the pump. It is to prevent this turning back of the fluid to the pump or the sump. The accumulator is present to smooth out the variations in the or fluctuations in the pressure value of the fluid. Now the commonly used form is a gas pressurized accumulator, which is shown in this second figure. Now this accumulator involves a gas chamber or a gas bladder within this accumulator chamber. The pressurized fluid from the pressure relief valve reaches the accumulator and is filled inside this chamber. So there could be fluctuations in the pressure of the fluid, which means that if the pressure of the fluid is lesser than the required value, then this gas will expand inside the bladder and increases the pressure of the fluid inside this accumulator, inside this chamber. Similarly, if the pressure of the fluid is higher than the required value, then the gas inside will shrink, and the high pressure fluid can occupy the formed volume, newly formed volume. This is the functioning of a gas pressurized accumulator. This is the sum of the major components of a hydraulic system explained. So the second one is the pneumatic system, which utilizes highly compressed air for circulation. Here also the figure shows a schematic representation of a generalized system. The atmospheric air is filtered and the noise fluctuations are removed by using a silencer and is taken to the compressor, which is driven by an electric motor. The compressor compresses the air to a very high pressure values, which will be already preset. Now the pressure relief valve is present to similar to the hydraulic case to release the pressure or maintain the pressure of the compressed air to a preset value or a safe level. Now due to the increase in the pressure, the temperature of the air may increase to high values. So in order to keep the temperature in check, a cooling system or a cooler is provided. Also, to remove the unwanted particles and the water vapor or the humid air, a filter and water trap system is provided. Then compared to the hydraulic system, similar to the accumulator, an air receiver is present. It increases the volume of air in the system, and thus it can maintain the pressure value of the compressed air. So this is how a pneumatic system works. In the remaining portion of the module, we will see how the various specialized pneumatic valves and rotatory valves and pneumatic or hydraulic systems are designed, their construction, their symbolic representations, and their applications.